Hello, I'm mxmtoon, and I'm really happy to be here and excited to talk with you about my music and maybe some other stuff too. Yeah. Maybe some video games. Yeah. Maybe cats. Maybe everything. Yeah.
I swear to God, if I run into you and you don't even know the half of it, I'm moving states and I'll never admit, but you ruined New York, so I had to quit. I'm turning every corner with exceeded caution, hoping, praying, begging that you're not in Austin. I hate Texas, but the exits have more room to run away from you.
I'm good. I definitely can't believe it's been more than 2 years since I was last talking to you, and excited to be back and excited to come back next year too. I already have plans to come back to Paris next year to play a show, so I'm excited about it, but I'm doing good. Definitely hanging in. Yeah. I think I grew up a lot between Rising and Liminal Space, and I'm really excited for people to listen to the new music because it's been a long time since I released a project, and Rising was a very different project than Liminal Space is. Rising is very pop music heavy, and I think Liminal Space is a little sadder and chiller, but I'm excited for people to hear it. I think it's more reminiscent of earlier projects that I've had, and I think it feels the most me that anything has ever felt that I've made. I think so much of Liminal Space is definitely about that, just figuring out where you're going. And I started really young. I started making music when I was 19 or maybe even younger, 17, and I started putting it out in the world. But now I've been doing this for a while. 3 albums is a lot of music to make, and I think it's important to accept how I've grown and changed in so many different ways throughout the process of this. But yeah, it's definitely a big thing to accept, and I'm glad that I wrote a project about it.
It's the reality of the situation. It's a morbid infatuation, and I close my eyes and make a wish and blow the candles out. Don't wanna ruin the celebration. There's a final destination. We get older, then we die, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I moved to a new city this year, and I worked on the whole record actually in the city that I just moved to. But I think when I was working on the Liminal Space, I was in Nashville for weeks and months sometimes to finish the songs, and I had this sense that like, oh wow, I could really live here forever. And I think you get so positive and optimistic about something, and I just moved, but it is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And I think that's okay too. Like you learn so much when things are hard, and I know it will get easier too, but change is good, and I think change is inevitable too, and a lot of the songs on this record are about that, and I have to listen to myself sing sometimes and be like, oh okay, I know this will be fine, I've written a song about it already. Yeah. A lot of the songs are really about my mom, and I think I've written songs about my family in the past, and I've mentioned my mom before, but never this explicitly. Like I think that my relationship with her obviously came to the forefront for a lot of reasons. It's always been important to me, but last year I found out that she had a cancer diagnosis, and that really shifted my perspective on a lot of things and shifted what I wanted to write the songs to be about. And I think every day I get older, I see more of her within me, and to be able to accept that and also know in which ways I'm different has been really important in my life. And I really am so glad that a lot of these songs became really important pieces of explaining that process. It's been really interesting to see how I've shifted and grown and also stayed the same in a lot of ways between project to project. And I do feel like Liminal Space, if I think back to what music I've released previously, it is most reminiscent to like Dawn and Dusk in that chapter of life. And I think it's fun to think back on where I was when I released those EPs, because it was very similar to where I am now. I just moved to a new city at that point, and I was adjusting to a lot of different life and feeling like I was an adult for the first time. And now this year I moved to a new city, and I'm adjusting to a lot of things in my life, and I feel very much like an adult, maybe more than I ever did in my life. And so they're very similar to each other, I think, but I now have 4 more years of experience under my belt and a different way to access explaining that and singing about it through song. So yeah, it is really reminiscent of each other, but I think it's nice to see how they are the same and how they're different too. I don't know, I feel lucky that music is a way for me to express myself, and sometimes tell the truth and also maybe think about what I would like to be true and talk about it in songs too. So it's good. It's a good exercise to feel like I can balance what is my version of honesty with something that is also like manifestation to a degree. So it's good. It's a balancing act though, yeah.
A thunderjaw went mad and is tearing through the valley.
Don't worry, I'll bring it down. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, right in the eye. And cut fire attack.
A lonely hero, hunting machines all by herself.
Hello, I have friends, you know.
Let's do this!
Dance party.
Ow! Hey, whose side are you on? Wow, what is this place?
I'm so lucky. I got to make a song for Lego Horizon, which is the like Lego adaptation of Horizon Zero Dawn, which is like one of my favorite games that I've played, and it's super, super good. But I think I just got really lucky, and I have done stuff previously in the video game world, and my label AWOL is now connected with Sony, and so I think there's some like, some familial relationships there, but I just pitched a song for it. They reached out and they asked if I would be interested in it, and I didn't know what video game it would be for. They gave me like a general idea of what the vibe was, and I remember thinking, this sounds a lot like Horizon Zero Dawn, and so I wrote a song that was kind of about Horizon, and I was completely right. It was the Lego version of Horizon, so it worked out really well. But it's fun to write for video games because it feels like, flexing a very different muscle than I get to flex for like maybe an album like Liminal Space. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. That's not a surprise to anybody. I've been playing so much of that. I think I'm trying to pick up more indie games again just because I got so into Fortnite for so long. I was like, I need to play something that has a little bit more of a story to it. So I'm hoping when I get back home I'll play Life is Strange, the new game that just released. It's about like Max and Chloe when they're older. But I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably get back into The Sims when I get back home just because when I sit down and don't want to leave my computer, I can just build homes forever. But I really am trying to do more indie gaming. I just picked up Inscription. There's another one that I played called A Short Hike recently. So lots of good ones that I've got to try out for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I ever do find time for the schedule that I'm working on. Like it's so tough. Like I feel like there's a lot of moments where maybe I'm home for a long period of time and then I get to actually sit down and play video games, but I also have so many hobbies, it's hard to find time for every single one. And but I feel really lucky that I do get the opportunity every once in a while, and sometimes I get to do what I love for work too, which is really great, and I'm really lucky. Yeah.
When I'm sitting in the sun, I think about the rain and the snow on the window pane. When I'm cruising down the one, dreaming I'm back east till I end up in Long Beach. 'Cause I said I'd go back home, but I don't really know where to go. 'Cause when I'm sitting in the sun, I think about the rain. I think about the rain.
Yeah, I think with Liminal Space it was really easy to try and involve everything that I like, whether it was movies or gaming or oversharing all of my emotions through songs. It felt so cathartic to have access to that in a different way. I think I've always tried to involve everything that I love into the music I make, but this time around I was really unafraid to try and do that. I remember bringing in PowerPoint presentations to my co-writers and producers and being like, so there's this meme that I saw online that I think is like actually about what I want to write today, or bringing an explanation of what the Backrooms was, which is like a whole internet subculture thing that I really tried to involve in the writing process. But yeah, I'm a nerd, and I try to be as nerdy as possible in the music I make, alongside also telling the stories from my life, and I like that both of those things can exist together. Yeah.
I wish that I could take back all the time wasted on a lover. Now I'm on the other side.
I'm really excited to come back to Paris. I played one show here, and that was years ago, and so it feels like it's time for me to come back again, and I'm really happy I get to do a proper tour of the Europe and play more shows across different countries and different places. But yeah, Paris has been really fun. I remember my first visit here and just being like, this is kind of scary, and I met you, and I think it's become a place where I feel really lucky to come back to it and feel more familiar every single time, and be more familiar with the fans too, and get to see faces that I've seen before previously. But it's really special. I'm excited to come back next year in April. Oh man, well, the album comes out November 1st. I don't know when this is going up on Live Actu, but I am really excited about it. I'm really excited that there's a tour for it announced, and happy that people get to take a second to learn the songs before I come and play them live. On Rising's tour, I was touring while the album was coming out, and that was really different. So I'm excited that there's a second for people to listen to the music and connect with it on their own time. But yeah, that's what's really happening next, and really I'm hoping to do more Twitch streaming so I can get back into the gaming space a little bit more, and excited to spend time at home with my cats, Spud and Cranky. Yeah. I actually don't know why I chose those in combination, because initially I wanted to make their names more related to each other, doing some sort of pair name like Button and Stitch kind of, or something like that. But yeah, no, Cranky, her name was created because she never stops talking, and so she was really upset the day that I adopted her, and so we just named her after her mood that day. But it is funny because she's a really sweet cat. She just is super loud, so she got to be named Cranky. And Spud, she has this habit of lying down in the middle of the floor in random places and doing a little loaf, and I just remember thinking she's like a tiny little potato that's planted in the ground, and so we called her Spud. Yeah.